Hi, Rachel. Thanks for submitting your essay again. This is Ellen, and I'll be correcting your essay. Let's take a look at what you wrote. This is about ex-prisoners. Let's see what you said. It is important to educate teenagers about the risks of breaking the law. Some people argue that the best candidates to inform teenagers of crime-related issues should be the ex-prisoners who have been imprisoned before but turned into well-behaved citizens later. In my opinion, it is a quite effective method, but might not be the best one. Oh, all right, interesting. So far this is really very good. I like it. You've used uh, some of your own vocabulary. You've rephrased the topic quite well, and I like your nuanced position. Okay, so let's see what you say further on. To begin with, people assume that ex-offenders are prime choices, probably because of their real experience in crime, whereas other people do not have. All right, your grammar here is a little off. It should have just been which other people do not have. Okay? For example, schools can invite them to tell their extremely horrible prison life, which is usually full of bullying, violence, and you need an and here, especially without freedom. Through this direct and vivid talk about personal experience in committing a crime, through this direct and vivid talk about personal experience in committing a crime would be, all right, there's a problem again with the grammar here, would be more persuasive than normal people who have no relevant experience. Okay, you don't need the through, essentially. You don't need this at all, so get rid of it. This direct and vivid talk about personal experience in crime, not just committing, in crime, would be more persuasive than normal people who have no relevant experience. However, it is not easy to find someone who can meet the requirement, as criminals are more likely to reoffend after being released. That's all you need to say. You don't need to say reoffend crime again. You just say are more likely to reoffend after being released. Okay, so this is good. I like it. Some grammar problems that made it a little tricky in a couple of places. I want to point out one thing to you. It might seem like a detail, but it's not really a detail, to tell you the truth. So this is about your opinion, right? So what I want you to be careful about is using this, like people assume, people think, some people believe, some people say, because it's not about what people think, it's about what you think. So in this particular paragraph, you could have just framed it a little differently and it wouldn't have been problematic. So you could have said something like, um, how about this? To begin with, it is tempting to assume that ex-offenders are prime choices. Okay, so this way it shows that this is your opinion and you believe that, yeah, you might want to think that, they're ideal. Um, so if you phrase it like that, in any case, when it's a to what extent do you agree or disagree, you need to frame the paragraphs and the information in the paragraphs as your opinion, your beliefs, okay? So that's what I want you to be careful about. Now, the rest of it was all right because it did sound like it was your opinion. Like it is not easy to find someone. It's more persuasive. So throughout the paragraph, you did fine. But that first sentence, which is kind of the opening and it kind of like sets up the rest of the paragraph, it didn't happen. And so I just want you to be aware of that. All right, let's keep going. Uh, Now, here you don't want except for. Here you want apart from. Okay, they're used differently. So except for excludes, but apart from both adds and excludes. So I mean, you can look it up a little bit and see how they're different. So apart from the aforementioned method, police officers are also suitable to educate teenagers about the dangers of crimes. This is because police officers are experienced in dealing with criminals in their work. Besides, they have a lot of statistics. And no comma and an and here. They have a lot of statistics and records, which are all valuable materials to inform and educate teenagers. On top of that, police are naturally equipped with deterrent power, sorry, and teenagers would be awed by their authority. Okay, I like this. I'm not a huge fan of this word here. Okay, I'm not a fan of deterrent power. I don't even know what that means. Um, mm, it's the word deterrent, which is a problem for me. As a word, it's great, but it just doesn't really fit here. Okay, so um, I like this. Let me tell you a small thing that's missing. This is about the best people. Who is the best person to talk to youngsters about crime? Okay, and you said that this is effective, but it might not be the best one. So here you're telling me the police officers are also suitable. Okay, maybe what would be more appropriate would be they are more suitable or they are the most suitable. That would be ideal. So, apart from the aforementioned method, police officers are, how about this, even more suitable to educate teenagers about the dangers of crime. So here you've got this comparison, and you're showing us that, yeah, prisoners are good, but police would be better. Okay, so it's good. Maybe you could have said a little more here. Maybe you could have developed it a tiny bit more. This is the paragraph that supposedly you support. And so it's a good idea to make it at least the same length, maybe even a little longer, not a lot longer, but it should be at least the same length as the side that you don't really support, okay? Because if it's so strong and if you believe it like so much, then you should have quite a bit of information to say, and that information should be compelling. All right, let's keep going. In conclusion, although ex-prisoners are good candidates to provide preventative education to teenagers about crime issues, it is not easy to find appropriate ones. Here you want an S. Okay, so I believe that more feasible methods should rely on the police. Okay, yeah, that's good. So I really liked a lot of this. I thought that your ideas were great. I thought that you understood the question. You understood this idea of comparison, which is, for me, one of the hallmarks of a higher scoring essay in task achievement. You said, look, yeah, the prisoners are a good idea, but it's not the best. And you carried this idea throughout the essay. So I was really quite happy with it. Were there things that could have been improved in this essay? Yes, absolutely. Little things that I talked about throughout here, some grammar stuff, some language stuff. Here I wanted a little more development. Um, and just again, this idea of the best people. Who are the best people to talk about crime? Okay, so this is what I wanted. But on the whole, I thought it was a well done essay. So I would love to see more work from you. I'd love to see different topics on task 2, and I'd love to see what you're doing with task 1. So if you enjoyed the feedback, take a look and see how else you can continue working with us. There are essay packages, essay correction packages that would allow us to continue working together, and you would get more feedback on your writing. Okay, so see if that's something you'd like to do. And I want to wish you lots and lots of luck.